We're back.
For another, in my humble opinion, black and ugly as ever. However, I stay Houston down to my socks. Welcome to another, in my humble opinion podcast, where the opinions are humbled and the words are not necessarily jumbled, unless I say them sometimes. I am your host, Avery, like a very nice guy, also known as Avery Zadius on all socials. Thank you for checking out In My Humble Opinion podcast once again. We're happy to have you here. Also joined by our host, Just Devon, my brother, ladies and gentlemen, Just Devon.
That's me.
He's happy about being here.
I'm always
We're all happy.
happy.
And you can find him at Dr. Douglas on all socials, soon to be changing, but for now it's Dr.
Oh,
Douglas.
wait. No, I got one of them changed. One of them
Which
changed.
one?
Twitter.
Which
Twitter,
one, nigga?
Twitter is now Just Devon.
A nigga had to. I was like, which one?
I had to think about it. I had to think about it for a second. But now Twitter is Just Devon, and we are well on the way for Instagram. When I say well on the way, I don't know what's gonna happen. I haven't done anything.
We're gonna fight that dude. That's what it is.
It could be a child.
We're gonna fight that kid. I always talk about my babies in the face. So it is what it is. But he's Just Devon on Twitter and Dr. Douglas on Instagram. And you can find us both at My Humble O on everything. In My Humble Opinion podcast on streams and on all DSPs. And In My Humble Opinion podcast on the YouTubes. So if you're not familiar with us, we usually spotlight a Houston talent that's making moves in this great city of syrup that is Houston. Also, with that being said, closed mouths don't get fed and you'll regret it when you're dead. This man's not going to regret anything. He was very vocal about what he wanted to do ever since he was a young lad in H-Town, Texas. From starring in the popular stage play Sister Act to being featured on black cultural staples like 106 and Park, he's proven that he's comfortable in any climate. Some of his accolades includes sharing stages with the greats like J. Cole, Miguel to name a few, Killer Callejon as well. Also performing for President Bush and our president, really, Obama. That's our real president. To nabbing the cover of Time Magazine and a write-up from Charlemagne the God. I know that's a joke. It's not serious. If you know, you know. You got to look at his Instagram page. You can find him on Clubhouse playing Simba, songwriter, producer, vocal arranger, Lee-Lonn, ladies and gentlemen. Lee-Lonn.
That is me. What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
That was a dope intro. I'm not gonna.
How's everything going with you?
Man, I'm blessed, thankful, getting some good rest, eating well. I'm doing good, man. How y'all doing?
We are doing excellent. We're out here in Houston. We know you're out there in Los Angeles. What's the weather like out there?
Man, it's funny. Today was a good day. I just got done sunbathing. It is currently. That sounded really braggadocious.
I say, yo, he's Cali now.
Yeah, I know, man. It's weird, man. It's 54 out here, but it's not like a Houston 54. 54 out here is kind of like a 75 in Houston.
I was about to say 54 out here is they talk about shutting down schools. We really bad out here with the gold.
It's icy. Yeah, it's not out here.
So we, you know what? Let's start off. We're gonna do a circle because we're gonna start with what you most recently did, which was the Disney and the Lion King. That was an interesting use of Clubhouse. I didn't know that Clubhouse was going to be used in that way. I didn't know Disney was doing anything about it, but it was probably and Avery's on Clubhouse a lot. We've experienced Clubhouse. It was probably the most creative thing that I've seen on Clubhouse at all, because Clubhouse can get real left. talk about like making that connection and getting this role in like such an iconic cartoon.
Word. Man, it's funny, man. It was really organic. That was the way it came was like it was effortless. Um, I got on Clubhouse around October 30th, I think October 27th, if I'm not mistaken. And when I first got on, my homeboy introduced me to it. Uh-oh. Got a phone call. I don't know if y'all
No,
caught
don't
that.
worry about it. Don't worry. You want to pause real quick?
No, you good. Actually, I put it on airplane
No, we're
mode.
good. We're good. Keep going. Keep going.
It's all good. We good. We good. Okay, so now my homeboy introduced me to the app October 27th, 2020, and he was just telling me it's an audio-based app, and I need to get on. And around that time, I was.
This nigga straight Hollywood, bro.
You see this?
LA.
I didn't decline twice. I'm gonna answer it and say, hey, I can't talk. All right, my bad, y'all.
Do that. Just answer it and say you can't talk. I'm gonna pause it.
Man,
like, I had paused it just in case it was like an important phone call. My bad, you know.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg, Dr. Dre could have been calling.
I told y'all. I might not have, but still, I'd have been live though. But nah, man. So I'm gonna say the story quick, just in case somebody called me again. Man, I got introduced to Clubhouse October 27th, 2020 by my homeboy Etienne. Maurice, he's a very good guy. He was like really pushing me to get on the app. And that was kind of during the time where, things were a bit dark for me, to keep it real with you. Life was a bit dark, from losing family to my own personal things going on within my own mind, and creatively just being in like a slump, not feeling like I was even in the mood to create anything, trying to, but not in that mode. I've been literally in the house by myself for like 8 months. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
it's like, how much inspiration can you get from a cell? You know what I mean? In a way. Man, he pushed me to get on the app, and I was like, man, I don't know. But for some reason, I felt in my soul that I needed to do it. So I did it. Got on the app, and then the first day he did his his the intro, the welcome party and things. Like, people came in, and I was like, man, talking to people again. I haven't been able to speak to human beings for a minute. And it was cool, man. The next day, I was kind of just thinking to myself, laying on my beanbag, like, man, I really want to talk to more people. And I really want to just be able to interact with people interpersonally again, in a genuine way. So I use my time to I set up my own room for the first time, and I had this album I haven't put out yet. It's called Sleep, where I made. I went to San Francisco probably 2015, 16 or something like that, and I made basically a album that you can fall asleep to, an album that you can meditate to, something that you can just relax to. I never put it out though. Never put it out. It's something I wanted to just have for myself. Probably put it out later, type of thing. And I just told myself I was gonna play it on the app. Started playing it. Probably 5-6 people came to the room over a course of 30 minutes. So I was like, man, it's kind of cool. But wasn't that many people. I was new to the app. So the next room I went to was my boy Bumani's room. He's currently the app icon, and I was in there, and he was doing the exact same thing I was doing. His title had like a guitar emoji, and he was like soothing sounds, some along the lines of like soothing sounds or something relaxing, something like that. Went into his room, found myself just vibing, listening to the music, and not realizing that the other people who were on stage could speak while he was playing at the same time. And then the music he was playing was actually live. So he did have, things playing on loop, like you hear like birds and things like that, environmental sounds and things like that. Very similar to what I had already made. I did the day before. It wasn't like we knew each other, we never met. He didn't even come through my room. It was just all coincidence. And while I was there listening to him play the guitar, I had my mic on mute, and I was just kind of singing to myself, literally teary-eyed, because just keeping it a buck with y'all, I don't mind telling my truth. It was a very depressing time for me. Very, very depressing time. And at one point, man, I don't know I just feel like God had been talking to me for a minute, man. And like, I felt God say like, yo, turn your mic on. So I did. And I started singing to it, just sang a little something. And then I sang like probably like just a little quick stanza or something, put my mic back on mute. And then I heard him say, this is Bumani saying, he was like, oh, hold on, bro. Keep going. And I was like, oh man. So from then on, I basically just started doing jam sessions with him. Every time I saw this man online playing music, I jumped in the room and I sang every single time, no matter what. It was like every opportunity I had to sing, because it's like, bro, I was literally fighting depression, literally fighting my way out of depression type of thing. And just having the opportunity to be able to sing with other people, or just really just be able to interact with other people, feeling like they're in the same room with you, even though we know that it's over, it's virtual, we're over the cell phones talking to people. Just being able to speak to them was one thing, but being able to sing was a whole nother ball game. I felt like this was like this was like a back door for me, you know what I'm saying? Another way for me to kind of get out again and just be exactly who I was. And I did it, kept singing, kept singing, kept singing. Long story short, met everybody on the show, from Chris Boogie to Miles Greer to Noel Chestnut Whitmore to Lauren Talese, Mir Harris, you know what I mean? Just a whole bunch of people, man. A whole bunch of people. Rick Party from BET and currently ESPN. He does voiceover work for them. Just getting a chance to meet these people completely genuinely, like wasn't nothing was forced. And long story short, man, I keep saying long story short and giving y'all a long story, but
we got an hour. We got time. We're good.
we got time, man. We got time.
I just podcast talk.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just kept singing though. I just kept singing. I kept hearing guys say, even before Clubhouse even popped off, I was hearing guys say for months, you need to just sing. Stop trying to do these songs. Stop trying to write these songs. Stop trying to make these videos. Stop trying to do all these different bits of content that you're seeing from YouTube and hearing all of these quote unquote successful people doing, and listen to what I'm saying. This is what God's telling me. And I heard him and I was like, all right, God, I got you. But I would listen to God and then go do exactly what I want to do. And I kept finding myself being even more depressed. And then I would be like, well, God, I am still singing. I just got my phone up, all that other stuff, right? So I said, you know what, man, I surrender. I'm going to listen to you, God. I hear you saying just to sing. And from then on, I didn't put up a video. I didn't put up a photo. I didn't put up any of that stuff. I just started singing to people, just singing. And this is like, keep it real. I'm tripping right now saying this, man, because it's like, as an artist, you want to come into these interviews smiling and making it seem like life is just amazing. But I'm peeping like, man, the only way I really know how to be is authentic, man. And
absolutely,
just kind of like singing, bro. I was like singing through tears, bro, singing through physical, emotional, mental pain, dog, in and out of the hospitals and stuff. Like, by the time this thing comes out, I'm probably gonna have some type of content up showing people like what was really going on with me. Like there's a lot going on, but I literally was singing myself out of depression, real life, singing myself out of the turmoil and the darkness and the struggle and all of that. And just like saying, man, I don't want to like try to fluff it anymore. I don't want to do anything God ain't telling me to do, just sing. And I did that. And then one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. Just all that action I was taking was meeting serendipity, was meeting God's will, was meeting the vision, was meeting my purpose. They were all just gelling. It's been gelling ever since. And then one day, my boy Chris Boogie came into the room and was like, we were doing like another jam session. And he ended up hopping in the room and came on stage and he was like, yo, I just want to come and tell y'all, man, y'all sound good. Man, this is amazing. And everybody was like, yo, who is this nigga talking about? Who is this? And like, bro, I promise he has like that James Earl Jones depth in a voice. You know what I mean? If y'all heard him do, he was Mufasa in Lion King. And everybody was like, yo, hold up. So Noel was like, nah, who just said that? And then Chris spoke again. And from then she was like asking him to, read like Green Eggs and Ham and things like that. And we're having fun. And then she was like, yo, your voice is like too unique. We need to do something with it. And Miles was in the room at the time who played acting Simba. And Noel was like, I got an idea. What if you guys did like some acting or something, right? And over the course of some days, they kind of were talking about it and things like that. And there was like another room where I created this like this little graphic about Bumani because it was before he was even the app icon for Clubhouse. And we were just talking about stuff. And I kind of was playing around and I kind of started singing because we were like, he's the chosen one, he's the chosen one. And I started singing like, just playing around in the room. And people were like, yo, the Lion King, it was crazy. So I ended up making this graphic of his baby face on the Lion King, like Rafiki holding up Simba. And we were all in the room just rolling. Everybody in the room was creating PTRs and stuff. We were just having fun. And Chris was there, and Miles were there. And because of that room where we were campaigning to get Bumani to be the app icon, I ended up I'm not gonna say I inspired the whole thing because Chris's voice and Miles and Noel, they were the ones who were thinking like we should be doing something with this voice. We should be doing something with this. And that PTR I made about the Lion King, everybody just like copied it and started pasting it. And we were like, yo, the Lion King. So the next time Chris came to the room, Noel was like, you know what, Chris, I want you to try reading Mufasa's lines and we need somebody to be Simba. And Miles was like, I'll do it. I'm an actor. And they ended up doing the iconic scene where you deliberately disobeyed me, that there. And from then on, man, Noel was like, we should make this a real thing. And we did.
No, that is fantastic. It's almost like once you let go, you accidentally auditioned for this. Like you accidentally wound up putting all this together when you weren't trying to do it. So once you lost that focus of trying to make something happen, you made it happen.
100%.
You let go and let God.
Yeah.
100%. Oh man. 100%.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. You were saying, okay, so first off, you're in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
At what point, what brought you out to Los Angeles in the first place, and when did you get out there?
So technically got out to Los Angeles, I think the second week of October. It was like the end of October-ish, early November of 2019. But I didn't technically get settled in until December 1st because I was doing the Abyssinian Mass concert in New York City with Damian Sneed and Wynton Marsalis at the Jazz at Lincoln Center in Columbus Circle in New York. And I ended up leading one of the songs, which is like a super blessing, super blessing. Like I'm sending a big shout out to Damian Sneed because he's literally one of the most phenomenal, if not the most phenomenal musician I've ever seen, like ever, ever. So if you haven't got a chance to peep his music, check him out. If you ever get a chance to see him live, that's where the treat is. That dude is crazy, like literal genius, like brilliant genius. But he had called me, man, and like the way I met him was like was one of those times where you let go and let God. I was depressed. It was a lot of depression going on, man. A lot of darkness. Just keep it real, man. It's crazy. Like I always get I always just kind of get nervous talking like this, bro, because it's like I could fluff you all day long, but I know what my truth is, and when I talk about it, it's like, bro, I gotta just say it because this is what God is telling me to say. But leaving Houston, the latter years of Houston, man, I felt like I reached a point where I had accomplished everything that I could from where I was, and like from selling out to the House of Blues in 2017 to going on tours. I went on tour with Janine, did some of the best shows I ever did in my entire life. From doing music to commit from Chamilionaire to Paul Wall to Propane to D-Lo, the Nice Guys. The story goes on and on. And doing my own music and the cool thing was I didn't even put out that much music, and I was able to sell out the House of Blues with literally like 5 to 6 songs that I ever released out. You know what I'm saying? Like just wild, cool stuff. But I was feeling like I was going in the same loop. Literally, like I was just hitting 610 over and over and over. And like had that feeling like, man, I really need to get on I-10 and make it past this loop. You know what I mean? Metaphorically and in reality. And I kept hearing God say, you need to move, you need to move. What I have for you is is going to be beneficial to where you came from, and you're not going to forget where you came from. But in order for you to actually live it out, you need to be obedient, listen to what I'm saying, and I'm telling you to move. So I said, all right, I'm gonna do it. And that was back 2014, 15. I ain't moved till 2019. So delayed obedience, you know what I'm saying? All of that, you feel me? And I just didn't do it. And I noticed once I did move, things were going like, even though COVID dropped like a hot mixtape. Uh
Well, that's why I was wondering about, because you have these run-ins. I mean, you've done major stuff like you're talking about with Marcellus, your performance with presidents and things like that. But I was wondering, in terms of, like, you're talking about depression, you're coming out to Los Angeles. I'm assuming you're going out there to kind of make, you might not have as many connections as you have out here in Houston. You're trying to get stuff started, and then COVID happens, and it's got you in this kind of solitary confinement. And from everything that we've heard about you, you seem like a very friendly guy. You seem like a very much a people person.
Oh,
And so I'm wondering, does being connected to people kind of fuel a lot of your creativity? And not being connected, how did that affect you during those quarantine months?
that's a great question, bro. Good observation too. Man. 100%, bro. I love people. I love people. I love interacting with people. I love being around people. I love giving to people. I like just helping people, bro. It's just something about helping people and doing things for people that makes my heart smile. But I also know that when I give too much and I'm like pouring from an empty cup, I'm already drained. It's like I do have to, I've found that balance and having to practice keeping that balance of making sure I'm still filled while I'm giving and things like that. But I love people, man. Um, COVID, during COVID, especially out here, um, let me backtrack a little bit. I have connections in LA. I've made connections over the years. I had taken plenty trips out here, been in studios, been at the shows, assisted certain people at their shows, things like that. I've been out here, so I had connections, but they were like musical business connections where when you visit, people are like, oh man, you're gonna be here, cool. Let me make some time, make my schedule around what you're gonna do because I know you're not gonna be here that long, and you'll get stuff going. I did notice once I got here though there was a certain air that came off of some of the people that I know, and not all of them, but people are busy. But it's like once you live in the same city, I think it's a very lazy and foolish mindset to have, and this is for everybody. I don't care who you are. If you live in the same city with somebody and you believe, oh man, well, we live here, so we got time. That's a grave mistake. When you treating it like when people are visiting, bro, it's like if I came to do this podcast with y'all in Houston, if we were like, yo, I know I can make it first week of February, and this is the time we have allotted to do this. Out of all three of us, it's like, look, we know that there is a beginning and an end to the time that we have allotted to make this happen. So we're going to make it happen, right? But I feel like as human beings, sometimes we make the mistake of thinking, oh, well, they're here, so we can give them time because they probably got things they're working on and all that, which is respectful. We respect other people's time. But I think it's a grave mistake to think that life is promised and to be like, well, the person lives here. I'll catch him when I catch him. That to me is like very ego based. I don't get down. So after I started to experience that attitude, not necessarily those actions, the attitude from certain people, I heard God say, I didn't move you out here to be a backup. I didn't move you out here to be jumping on everyone else's vision. I moved you out here because of your vision and what I put inside of you and the story I need you to tell. And I was like, all right. So what God told me to do, he said, come out to LA. And when you get there, contact the people that you already knew, say hi, say what's up, but do not ask them for anything. Only attract, only do. And I was like, all right. So what I did, I came out, I said, what's up? Hey man, I'm here, all that good stuff. And people like, yeah, it's going down, man, all that there. But I noticed that like I wasn't getting them same calls that I was getting when I would travel there, because I'm an Airbnb when I'm traveling there. So it's like, oh man, what you got up? Come through, come hang. But once you move here, it's like, oh, we know you got to get settled. We know you need this. We know you need this. And that air is a little different. So I'm like, you know what? I listened to God on it. I started just recording videos and doing like Lee mixes and things like that. I ended up doing a show. This is like literally this exact around the same time last year. Did a show at the living room. That was my first performance. It was dope. Then in that same, yeah, thanks, man. In that same weekend, Damian Sneed was on his I think Lift Every Voice tour. And he had a show at Pepperdine in Malibu. And that same weekend he invited he sent the invite and said, man, come through. So I went. And while I was there, he was like, yo, come on stage. He was like, yo, I see somebody in the crowd that I think is really dope. Got a chance to work. And I was like, oh man. So he ended up saying, come on up here, Jamal. I was like, oh, cool. He wasn't talking to me, but I didn't know if he was gonna put me on the spot. He started saying something else that I was like, oh Lord, he is talking about me. So he ended up calling me to the stage and we ended up performing there. But I noticed that like instead of chasing things, my heart and soul is attached to attracting things. And that's how I think you allow God to work. That's that, like what you just said, like what Avery just said, like letting go and letting God. I feel like attracting things is living in God's will, and chasing things is living in your ego. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
So
I get that. I
I'm
definitely
taking
get
that.
that.
I'm
oh yeah,
cutting that up.
oh yeah.
Now, even so much so, I mean, we're talking about, and let's keep on backing up because you have a very strong relationship with God. You seem like a family-based kind of people person.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your upbringing. Like growing up in Houston, was it? How early were you like, okay, I'm gonna sing?
I sang since I was born. Since I was born. Um, like I was in choir every single year of my life, except for the second half of 8th grade, because my teacher kicked me out because she said I was too moody, and we had choir first period. So we first,
Oh God.
I'm like, bro, I just got to school. My
I just
parents,
woke up.
what I'm saying. I just got off the bus. I had to get myself ready. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot going on at home, and you know, talk about that. That's another story. But anywho, man, man, I've been singing all my life, man, and yeah, I've been singing all my life, man, ever since I can remember. Yeah.
And then with that though, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, all your life choir, except for that second half of 8th grade.
Yep.
But I mean, you hop back right in it. By the time you got to the 9th grade, like at what point are you saying this is going to be a career? Like I can live off of my talent.
That's a good question right there. So like I noticed that like throughout my journey, God has like always showed me these like checkpoints periodically throughout my life. There weren't always just like this one specific moment. Now it might be here as I talk about this, but I realized like even with music, I always taught myself things by the semester. So like whenever I first started singing, and I ain't always been the coldest, by the way. I feel like I'm good now, sure. But it wasn't until I was literally 26 years old that I was like, man, I actually can sing. Dang, I really can do this. It wasn't until I was 26. And I've done plenty of things by then. I already performed on BT. What is this? This 2021 minus what? Yeah, that was like right before, or that was around the time where I sold out the House of Blues, all of that. I always felt that I was very hard on myself. And yeah, man, I kind of, it's a good question, man. I've been very hard on myself. And I think because I've always compared myself to Stevie Wonder or Babyface or Prince or Freddie Mercury or, you know, Bruno Mars or John Legend or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm comparing myself to these guys that are like you would consider like the elite artists of whatever era they dominated. You know what I mean? Um, I was just like, man, if I'm not doing what they're doing, or if I'm not at their caliber, I'm not doing really anything. You know? So that's really that. As far as like the upbringing though, man, The first time I ever had a moment that like a nostalgic moment that I could remember specifically that made me feel like, man, I would love to be a singer was when I was about, I don't know, 5 years old or something like that. And I think a Goofy movie was out. Um, and
Snap.
yeah, super old, bro. And like this is back when
Classic.
you know it. Yeah.
Power line.
Literally, literally. You already know. You know where it's going. You know where it's going. Yeah. So with Powerline, I was watching the movie. This is back when we lived off of DeSoto, on the north side, and yeah, we were in the Falls on Antoine DeSoto, and my mom had the cassette, and we were playing it, and this is me and my brother was sharing. Dang, man, y'all really asking the right questions. This is really tripping me out. Snap. Okay, okay, man. So like, man, this is making me kind of emotional thinking about this, bro. It's a lot of stuff going on in my life. Good God. Thankful, man. Man, this is crazy. This is back when, like, to paint the picture, me and my older brother, we shared a room at that time, and we had those like breakaway bunk beds. Never had the bunk beds stacked on top, but they could be set on the sides. And if we did put them on top of each other, the wooden types, they could stack, but we never stacked them, which is very strange. But we never did. They were always side by side. And we had one of them old tube TVs that you would turn it down and go,
Yeah.
and slowly come on, like from the center of the screen. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're describing our. I mean, this is my brother. So we had the bunk beds, but we stacked them. We stacked them for the room, so we could get the room. We had the tube TV because anytime like we got grounded, you know, they'd be like, "Oh, don't watch TV," and we could never figure out how my mom knew that we watched TV because the back of that TV get hot. So she would come home and reach on the back and be like, "Oh, that's another week for y'all." I'm like, how does she know?
How does she know?
You already know.
You're like, how does she know what? Like, we cut it off. So then we had to start learning that cut it off early. Like, you're like, oh, they're about to be home in like, I guess 30, 40. We got to cut the TV off and just wait.
All that. You know. Y'all know. Y'all know. For real. Man, trying to like talk a little bit. So if you cut it on, like, yeah, all that. Exactly. Man, it got the little spin out. You already know, man. You already know. Man, so like to paint the picture, it was like that. And this is back when we had like wallpaper and carpet and lived in an apartment complex, the Fall on Antoine, right down the street from like Inwood Elementary and all of that. And man, they had the cassette going. I was watching it. And I don't know where my brother was at the time. He lived there, but I don't know where he was in the house. But I specifically remember saying, "Mom, come here." And she came to the room and I started singing one of Powerline's songs. And think about it in retrospect, I probably wasn't that good, but my mom was like, "Oh, you like that?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to be a singer just like him when I grow up. That's going to be, I can do it." You know, all that type of stuff, right? Super excited. That was the first time I ever remembered thinking I could sing and singing along with a song. And I literally never stopped. Like literally been singing all my life. Have always thought about being an artist. Always thought about making songs. Always thought about changing the world and healing people and all of that. Always. Even in my roughest times. Yep.
That's dope. That's also dope that your mom's, you know, it's funny the little things that our parents can do, because she could have been like, you know what I mean? But like just that, just saying like, "Oh, you like that? Okay." Just, you know, encourages you to go try out more.
To the moon.
So you're out here, and the thing is, I'm like, let's fast forward past. I mean, we're talking about 8th grade. Let's go in that when we're in the high school. At a certain point, you have got, like any artist, to start figuring out, all right, I know I want to do this. I know I want to make a living off of this. I need to make money off of this. So, like, what are some of the steps you start taking? Because, like you were saying, you weren't releasing a lot of music, but it was translating some kind of way because you sold out the House of Blues in 2017, 2018. So how were you out here connecting with fans?
Okay. So when I first started, man, I actually took the H-Town artist approach. I technically was like rapping. I was singing in 8th grade. I always sang, but when it came down to like that oh, let me get a pen. Mhm. You already know where I'm going.
Yeah, the beating on the table.
Yeah, that all right there at the lunch tables. I was like, man, where we at? What was going down? What we doing? What we doing? I was always on the freestyles, but I realized that like because I could sing as well, and I had, I was classically trained in school, listening to gospel at church, and performing it at church as well. And at the lunch tables in school, we either rapping at the table or I'm singing with other homeboys on the sideline while we're playing football and things like that. I was not giving my all. I'm just gonna keep it real. But nah, for real, man. In the beginning, man, I did a lot of hook work. If we go back to the beginning stages of me connecting with people and actually creating a business model for myself, the beginning connection was like, singing talent shows and things like that, right? And when I got to college, I sang on everything, all the shows you could, everything you could think of. If they needed a national anthem, I was there. I sang. I was just doing it. It got to a point where I had to like make a decision because my financial aid didn't come in time, and I was praying about it, and I was real like sad, like, man, I'm about to have to drop out of school. I tried my best and it just didn't work out. But the wild part was at that time I was literally doing 3 shows a day, not even
Mm.
3 shows a day. I was either singing at the BSM, singing at the MSM, singing at um, the art school, just wherever project program organization had something they needed a singer, I was there, and I sang for everybody. That was my way of connecting with people. But I've always been in tune with being genuine with people. Always, I just like to. I don't know, man. It's something about the industry stuff and it's just something about that. It just never has felt. It never makes me feel comfortable. I know that I'm in a business. You know what I mean? I'm in a business, and I get that, and I respect that. So I know that I need to handle my business. But I sing to connect, but I make music to connect, but I distribute my music for the business. You know what I mean? So like I was doing music way back, like writing hooks for in Gavin Luckett's studio, Latoya Luckett's brother. And that was back when like it was G Luck and B Don back in like I'm talking about early. I'm singing for every drug dealer, every B-boy. I'm talking about I'm on the hook, man. If you go back and look, think about anybody who was popping in 2009, 10, 11, all those years, 12, going into 12, all those years, bro. If you go back and look, just get on YouTube and type in whatever artist was hot and doing either kickback Sundays or who was hot on the radio around that time before Kiati got on, all of that stuff. All them guys. Just go look. You're gonna see some hooks being done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna see some hooks being done. Um, but that was my way of channeling what I knew, because like even like beginning of like college, like with the nice guys, I remember specifically like talking to Eves, Free, and Todd, and they came to my dorm room to basically like uh interview me to sing with their group or some stuff like that. They were silly, but
You got interviewed by Todd.
you already know. You
Okay,
already know.
I was about to say. Oh
Yeah.
well, at this point, because this is just a running thing in the show. Anytime Todd is mentioned, Todd or Tubo, we like to mention that they are hands down the latest guests that have ever been on this show. Twice,
Yeah.
two times.
Twice.
Oh, 2 times. You got trust me. I'll send you the links. Todd and Tubo are tied up to be the latest guest on this show every time. They show up eventually. But they interviewed you as part of the night, because the Nice Guys, that album just celebrated its 10 years. Okay, so you interview with them, and then what happens?
It was more so like, yo, man, we've been hearing you sing around the spot.
Yeah.
Your voice is buzzing, man. All these girls talking about you around. What was it? It wasn't was it the Commons? I know it was the Commons, but it was a space in between the towers. Oh man, golly, whatever the word was. I forgot. But yeah, we've been hearing your name, man. We're trying to see, man. Blah blah blah. So this is when Todd was going by his other state, his alias Christoph, and
he also had braids.
Yeah.
He did have braids. You're right.
Yeah.
He did have braids.
Yeah. That doesn't help the story at all. I just like to point out again that Todd went by the name Christoph and he had braids.
Man.
All right, continue.
For real. Hey, so hey, that kind of does help the story though, because he turned it. Man, this is one photo he had, I think right after he cut his hair. And he was on stage. I think Tubo caught it. And he had water on his shirt. I don't know if they're performing at Frontier Fiesta or like South by or something. And he was kind of like hilarious, super hilarious photo. But nah, Eves was pretty serious. Eves was very confident, slightly arrogant, knowing he had the lyrics, you know what I'm saying? He knew he had that swag and he was like, yeah, bro. And in a lot of ways, bro, Eves was one of those people that I did music with, and he would never let me write a hook. Never. I was like, just let it be what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is his stilo. And you know, Free and I, we had a really close relationship back then. When Free was trying to do R&B for the first time, I was one of the people who was in the room with him initially. Before he even moved to LA, I was in the room helping him out. I was in the room singing over his tracks and things like that. Never really connected with Todd in that way. He was always cool though, but never really got too close. And Tubo, funny, the first flight I ever got to LA to do straight up music something was from Chamilionaire. And he called this day, random day, when I was over Omar's house, or Omar's apartment. That's DJ Candlestick.
Yeah.
I was over there and he called, was like, hey, what's up, man? What's up? I was like, yo, what's up? And this is after I had already done the song with Chamilionaire and all that. And he was like, yo, man, I want to shoot a video to our song. I was like, oh, snap. But this is a different time. This was a different era of Lee-Lonn. This was like super. I would get very excited, but I had a very, very good grasp of self-control.
Okay.
I do now, but it was different then because that was during a time where I was really in the trenches. I was around a lot of rappers, a lot of hood niggas, a lot of gangsters, a lot of rough people. Yeah. And it was like, if you show too much emotion around these people, you either gonna get took. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to keep it in sometimes and just let it come out of my fingertips in my voice, as opposed to like what I'm doing now. I'm like, yeah, this is amazing. You know, like, some of them, you know, in some environments, it's like boys is just like, man,
niggas ain't having that.
Yeah, we ain't having that, bro. You up in here too loud, man. You gotta calm that down, man. We trying to chill, man. We out here with these ladies, you know what I'm saying? All that there. So it was a different environment for me, where I was like, I'm in school singing classical at U of H in the Moore School of Music. When I would get out of class, I would drive my truck back then, my pickup truck, to Gavin Luckett's studio to sing hooks for these just rappers, just pure rappers. And Gavin always hit me up, hey man, come back to the lab, man. We got another song, something. And they would pay me, and they always paid well. So I was thankful for that.
Cash.
You know, they had it, literal cash. It was like, all right, here you go, little bro.
The laugh.
I'm like, thanks, man, for real.
That is the laugh. That is the perfect laugh.
You know.
Well, let's fill in your first flight out, Chamilionaire, because you were on Chamilionaire. What was that? On My Way?
Yep, On My Way.
My Way. So Chamilionaire, you're on the song. I mean, that's already great. I'm on the song with Chamilionaire, but then he's like, yo, fly out because we shooting a video.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It's interesting. So on the phone with him, and I looked at Tubo, and I don't know what in my heart was like, man, I need to just ask Tubo. I was like, hey, Tubo, man, you want to come to LA? He was like, yeah. I was like, hey, Chamilionaire want to shoot a video for On My Way. I was wondering, you want to just come through, bro? He was like, yeah, nigga, yeah. I was like, bet. So he ended up getting us tickets, man. We went out, and that was the first time I ever realized what a artist's budget was. And Chamillionaire is like the guy I call whenever I need something for real. Like, you know how people say, hey man, if you need some help, call me. He's that Negro for me. Okay.
Okay.
Like, like if the times where I'm like, man, I really don't know what to do. I don't call people much. I don't ask for help much. I'm not like prideful or anything, but I just believe that if there are things that I can do on my own, I'd rather do as much as I can on my own before I even step into a position where I gotta ask somebody for something. But them times where it's like, man, I don't know. I really don't know. He the person I call. And he answers every time, and he gives me that knowledge every time. And bro, it's like we're working with him, man. We got out there, came out here, and he was like, bro, if y'all are hungry, just order food. And me and Tubo were like, all right. And it was times we wouldn't even eat because we were like, man, I don't want to be spending up all the money. And then he would say, like, bro, we about to go out there and be out there for 6 hours. Y'all ain't eat nothing. Come on, bro. I told y'all gotta eat. He was like getting on us, like, I told you gotta eat, bro. Don't trip. It's not a problem. And this is committed. This is before we knew the cam, but the millionaire part was like, it was, it was still new to us. It was like we ain't even grasp it yet, like he's great, and it's not even about the money. It's just like he's one of those people that really showed me how being a successful artist and being a genuine person can actually be intertwined. You know what I mean? Like, man, he's just a regular guy. He's just like a super successful guy that's probably gonna walk up, in some cargos, some nice J's, and just a t-shirt and talk to you like you're talk to you like we're on the same level because we're still human. But he's still probably gonna hop in the Maserati or something on the way out. You know what I mean? He's a very personable guy. Very good guy, bro. Very good guy. But
I was gonna say, yeah, because I was like, that's the feeling or the impression he gives, like with the Convos app, his app that he has, where it's like he just gets on there and just gives out advice.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he'll literally just like people just get on there and ask him questions, or he'll have like giveaways, or hey, tell me about your business idea, like tell me about it. And I remember I was watching one time and like people came on and told him about it. He's like, yeah, I want to fund your idea. People were like, what? He's like, yeah, like the people that really put together a package, the people that really, I believe in something, I think I can invest in you. So I'm like, yeah, he just seems like a genuine guy.
Yeah, definitely. That's really him. That's really
absolutely, him. Absolutely.
So
you were out there.
Yeah. So
you and Tubo filming a video.
Yep. Yep. So we ended up shooting a video. I did all my scenes, all my cuts, all that type of stuff. I was, we were on time because we were with Chamilionaire, of course, but like I was hitting on my marks. And Tubo was there getting B-roll and things like that. And it sucks, man. I think his hard drive crashed. He had some. Oh. No, man. I really hope he can either, if he still has the hard drive, I hope he can either salvage it or find it or something. But like that video y'all saw, if you went to my Instagram and saw the video of me and Tiny Lister.
Yeah.
That was from the video.
Yeah.
Way back. Yep. And we shot the video. It technically didn't come out though, because the scenes that I was in, there were certain, okay, I can't say everything, but I'll just say there are certain things that happened to the footage and the way the footage was shot that Chamilionaire didn't believe would match with his brand. So he was like, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to go with it. And it was like nothing I did or anything like that. Yeah. It was like technical stuff. And he was like, I'm gonna have to use it for something else. And personally, I was like, dang, man, I really wish that video could have came out because perfect time, all of that. But I feel like that was God's blessing in disguise. Because that video didn't come out, my relationship with Chamilionaire has grown literally over 10 years. And like, I don't talk to him every day, but if I do hit him up, we talk literally at the least an hour, at least. You know what I mean? And he a wealth of knowledge, man. Like he makes me feel very comfortable and confident in knowing that I have someone I can look up to in this industry for real. Not just somebody I'm inspired by on my vision board, somebody I can actually converse with that could literally sit in the middle of my vision board as well. So, and doing that video was crazy, man. It was one of the first times I ever saw, seeing like Tiny Lister act and talking to him, and like him, man, he was dropping gems upon gems upon gems. And you would think that like, you would think he would be tired of doing rest his soul, by the way, but because he did pass away, but
Absolutely.
You would think he would be tired of doing the Debo bit. No. He never was. He did it the whole time. So
I to be honest, I felt like after, I don't know if he acted like Debo before the Debo role, but I do know after the Debo role, I just associated that with him. Like that was kind of it. Anytime I saw him, I was like, "Oh, you gonna do the Debo thing." I know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would. But he was one of those guys that he'd be acting like he Debo, but he'll give you a big hug when he see you, man.
Oh, every picture you would see of him is like, cause it's funny watching people like tough guys like run up to him like, put me in a headlock, like let's get a picture. Like there are so many pictures of him just playfully putting people in headlocks like they Debo, because it was such an iconic character that everybody just kind of like, we know Debo. Like that's just about it.
Yep, definitely.
So you were talking about Chamilionaire, and I like the way you're describing the vision board. What was your vision then for your career, and how has it adjusted and evolved as you have been up until this point?
That's another good question. So that was around, what year was that? I think 2011. I went to BET 2012 or June 27th, 2012. And I did that Chamilionaire video, I think. Oh man, it was around that same time. I think it was 2011. My vision at that point was to live out my 5-year plan that I had written from high school, and I literally did everything. Like I wrote everything that I did in college and everything that I was doing, from putting out my own music to doing shows to doing interviews, covering magazines, putting out my own CDs, because CDs are the thing at the time, and like building my fan base past my family and friends from my old neighborhood. Those were like part of the vision. But the last thing I wrote on my 5-year plan coming out of high school was to perform on BET, perform one of my songs on BET. And on the 5th year, which is 2012, showing my age, 2007, I graduated high school. 2012, I went to, that was when I went to 106 & Park. The first song I ever wrote, produced, recorded. The first song, maybe. I ended up performing that on Wild Out Wednesday for BET. So I was like, man, it worked out. And, I would love to be on the countdown. It's like you can't really bargain with God. It's like you got to be, and you got to.
You did.
Right. I was there. I still shook their hands, still did my interviews, still did my performance, did my photos, all of that.
There's 3 of us on here. Only one of us has been on BET, period.
Yeah.
That may or may
not. Whoa. I was in the background of one of them when they came out to college. Like, I was in the back. I was like, that was about it. That's right. I definitely wasn't performing anything, and I too was not on the countdown.
No. Yeah.
And look, progression is progression. Like, you never know. I think it's funny you're talking about how the Chamilionaire video didn't go. There's always this story about Cisco's first video getting scrapped and how it was like the best thing ever. Like, I think they said he was like literally fighting a dragon. Yeah. And they was like, they spent like a ridiculous amount of money on it. They was like, yo, it's like Cisco versus dragon. And somebody was like, nah, this can't happen. Like, if this comes out, it's over for him. And they just deleted it. And so, like, but that's the thing where it's like, you never know what's going to happen. So it's like a lot of this stuff helps out with the, the progression. Because there are people that have been on 106 & Park on the countdown that we're not talking about no more. Like, sometimes the slow burn works out better.
Yep.
As you get to the end of your vision board, like you said, the last thing you put on the vision board was the BET.
Yep.
Then you got to go back to once you get there, what's your next vision board? what was your plan? Like, what are your plans now in terms of where you want to take your career, the type of music you want to do? And I really want to pinpoint on type of music because you're classically trained, you sing hooks for rappers, you kind of rapish a little. Like, there's a lot of things that you branch out to, but even on your Instagram, the new series you're doing, where you're singing Sam Cooke excellently, might I add. So that's the thing. It's like, what styles of music are you interested to do, and where do you see yourself branching out as an artist?
I love this question, man, dog. This is dope, y'all. This is dope. I'm
I
feeling the
appreciate
fact
it.
that I'm telling you, both of y'all, this is great, y'all. I'm
No,
telling you,
we appreciate it. We appreciate you coming on, man.
this is cool. I like this. I like this, man. Okay, woo, this is good. Oh man, so all right, so I feel like that's a two-part question. Let's break this down quickly. Let's break this down in a simpler fashion. Can you ask me the first part of that question as simple as possible, and I'll break that down. I want to answer it, but like,
Well.
I like
You know what? No, that's good because it was a lot because
It's
it
Hollywood.
got me thinking about the second half. So let's put the series you're doing on Instagram and everything. Let's push that to the second part, and let's just focus on you get to the end. You have gained success in a lot of different ways. You're doing songs with top artists like Chamilionaire. You are accomplishing your goals, like getting on 106 in Park. Once you get to a certain point, though, you got to rewrite the vision. So when you got to that point, what were your plans? What were you saying? Okay, you know what I need to do now? Where do I want to take my career from here?
right. Okay, so career-wise, this is a great question because when that actually happened, you see the power of prayer, manifestation, and actually writing things down and making them plain like God tell you to do. You see how fast life can happen. Me writing those things down and planning them out and putting them in my head, I accomplished them so fast that it was about a year and some where I ended up having things go on in my life where I just did not know what was next. And I've been a visionary since I was born. I always could visually see things. Like even with music, I visually see music. You know what I'm saying? Like I always could see things, but for that reason, I was like, man, I'm not used to everything going right so fast. So I ended up having to go back to the drawing board and I wrote, well, more than anything, I was praying first. And the way my vision ended up shifting was into God, how do I become all of the artist you want me to be and actually make my own music and start to build my own thing? Not necessarily be part of these rap groups, not necessarily be doing these hooks, not necessarily be jumping in and on and off of like tours and other people's shows. How do I do this for myself? And that was 2012. 5 years later, after writing this next set of lists, I ended up doing the House of Blues and we sold out. So what I ended up writing down was after doing BET, after doing Chamillionaire, I had heard God say, I am about to make life very interesting for you. And if you listen to me and you're obedient, things are going to work out for your good. So I was like, all right, bet. So I started to do that, but I wasn't. I was kind of obedient, but kind of not, kind of obedient, kind of not. And as far as my career, I had written down, I want to be tour hopping. I want to be putting out my own music. I want my music to be soaring across the internet. And I want to do tour and I want to sell out my shows. Every show I ever put on by myself that had a cap in sales, I've sold out every time, every show. So like that worked. Then in other years between 2012 and 2017, I had done the shows, I had done tours, did a Texas tour with Jonathan for I think the Foreigner tour. Then I did another tour with an artist that was formerly signed to Atlantic Records, Janine. And I ended up doing 3 stops on that tour. I did Houston, Dallas, and Atlanta. Houston show, really dope. Dallas show was even better, but the Atlanta show was one of the most life-changing shows I've ever done. One of the most perfect shows, and I didn't even have a band. All it was me, my machine, my computer, and the crowd. And like, it was one of the best shows I've ever had. I felt like I literally was talking to my great grandmother who passed away, like on the stage. It was like phenomenal, and sold out. As far as like writing the vision again, I don't know if we got to that question yet, but that was me writing from the 2012 portion. Like after I had done the BET thing and that was the end, I wrote those specific things down and they happened. But I realized from going to BET, I didn't realize until later on in the second portion of the vision that we're discussing at this moment, that if you're going to pray to God, you got to pray specifically. If you're going to write things down, you got to write down specifically, very specific. Because just like Avery just said, he was like, hey man, but you still made it to BET, which I still had the mindset like, man, I'm grateful I did make it to BET, but I also realized I could have wrote down, instead of writing, I'm going to perform my own original music on BET, I could have said, I am going to perform my original music on BET after making it #1 on the countdown. And these people, you know what I'm saying? I could have been hella specific. Yeah. And I noticed God will bless you as specific as you are about yourself. And I feel like the more you take yourself seriously and the more you actually like are obedient, the more God is going to like open up the floodgates for you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was one of the things I learned.
And that's
the second part though.
No, I said that specificity also helps to focus you. Because when you say like, hey, I want to be here in 5 years. It's one thing, and you, that's your focus. You're gonna get that's your focus to get there. But if you say specifically, like I want this, and this, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm always one of those people where I believe God helps those that help themselves. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be there. But I'm like, when you specifically are like, hey, you always have this goal and this mindset. I'm going to still keep that question, the second part, pinned towards the end, because I do want to go back just to give people perspective. It is Houston for R&B artists is a rough city. And I want to be real clear about this. We have some amazing talent. When you talk to singers here, they're like, you cannot beat the talent that is found here. Like they all work off each other. Like we're all working, everything's working. But selling anything in Houston, I don't care who you are. I don't care how popular you are. It takes a lot to sell out venues here. We're the home of the parking lot. Myself included. I'm definitely a pull up and be like, oh, y'all are charging? I'll catch y'all later. So when you say I sold out the House of Blues, it is definitely a feat. And when you say, hey, I sold out the House of Blues, and I didn't even have a lot of music out, like that takes something. So tell us about the lead up, and then just tell us about the point where you found out, like, yo, I sold out the House of Blues.
Oh man, another good question. So, man, bro, y'all killing it. This is dope. This is dope. You killing it. All right. So to give respect where respect is due, Russell Guest, producer from Houston, he was the one who had invited me on to do the show, and this is back when I was being managed by Risky Syrian. And Risky had handled the business and got in contact with the guys, and they said they wanted me to come perform. They were doing, they were doing like a night they were doing like a specific night at the House of Blues at the time. And they wanted me to feature. So I was like, bet. So we did the whole, Eventbrite link, that type of thing. And the lead up, as far as like, when you say lead up, what do you mean specifically?
Oh, I mean, just the feelings of going in. Because, I mean, from what I've talking to artists that have sold things out, it's for the most part, I feel like a lot of them have been surprised up until that last minute. Houston is also very good about buying tickets last minute.
Yeah.
We are very good about buying tickets last minute.
Pre-sale.
And I don't even want to cut you. I'm not even going to cut you off. This is from one of our earlier interviews where Jack Freeman was saying, like, look, guys, if you buy your tickets earlier, there's a possibility of more shows. Like if you wait till the last minute, the venue's like, all right. But I'm like, if you sell out early, they start moving like, hey, he sold out Friday. Let's see if we can get him Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
But again, that's something that the city kind of has to learn, because we are definitely a good, like, I know people was calling you the day of that thing, like, hey, Lee-Lonn, man, y'all still got tickets?
Hey, man, come on. Hey, check me out, man. I'm telling you. Boy, gonna pull up to the, hey, look, I'm trying to come through, man. Look,
you know,
man.
I'm trying to come through and support.
Yeah, it's like, bro, it is the day, bro. It's today. No, but you already know. Funny thing, man. Funny thing about that was, I was actually getting my hair cut in Mo City, and I got a text. Actually, I think it was like some comments or some text or something like that. So a few people were hitting me up because they were like, yo, we're trying to buy these tickets, man, but the link don't work. I was like, what you mean the link don't work? And I sent them the link again. And I was like, but I'm getting a haircut, so it's like I can't really pay attention. I was like, nah, man, you good. You good. Just go to the link. You good. Don't go to anything else but this link. And they was like, no, that's the link I've been had. It don't work. So I went to the link and I looked at it. I said, hold on. And this is when I had my twist too. So I'm halfway twisted, halfway cut. The video, I think I put it on Instagram. I might have archived it. I'm gonna put it back up there, just in case people want to reference it. But it's crazy, man. That was the first time I had ever experienced selling out so early, type of deal. Like people couldn't even buy at the door tickets.
Not at all.
They're super thankful. So like, yeah, I checked it. It said the link said sold out in all red, and I was like, wait, we sold out? And then my boy Phil was cutting my hair in Missouri City. He was like, hold on, man, you wait, what? You sold out? What? I was like, man, that show I was telling you about at the House of Blues boss, I sold it out, bro. He was like, hold on, man, hold up, man. You just sold out the House of Blues in Houston, man. Oh, man. And I was like, dang, I was like really tripping. And I was like, bro, this is, it's crazy. So I put it on Instagram and told her, I was like, y'all, everybody coming to the show tonight, thank you. We sold out. It's going down. And I was like, yeah, like I was turned. Everybody was like in there. And then we got to the show. It was like the feeling of going to a show where you're doing well or doing successful is one thing, where people are like, they're into it and they're there. But it's another thing to sell out the show and know that these people came to see you do your thing. You know what I mean? It's a different feeling. It's kind of like your birthday party. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is there to celebrate you. But more than that, for me, it was like, man, these people know my lyrics. They know my style. They know what songs do what. They know my breaks. You know what I'm saying? They just know me. So like, that was a blessing, bro. And after that, like being able to I don't even know if I screenshotted it back then, but like just being able to post the video of me in the barber chair saying I sold out, doing a cold show, getting a recap video done by LaTroya Brooks, by the way, Selfless Images. She did the video. It was super fire. Doing that video, putting that out, and then being able to put the flyer back up there with the big red sold out for it was like, that's like a dream come true, man. Dream come true.
Man, that's fantastic.
Oh,
yeah,
that is fantastic. Okay, I put a pin in the question, and now I don't remember the question.
It was about the Sam Cooke series that you're doing on Instagram.
Oh,
so
yeah.
On that series, like, what's that about? Which I reposted.
So, thank you, my brother.
Wait, hold on.
I mean, and you are getting some. You're getting some reposts. I think Melanie Fiona, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
retweeted. Yeah, starting to get some traction. So tell us about that series.
Man, so it's actually so the series is called the Vintage Series. And this was, wow. Yeah, you're right. People are talking to her right now.
Whoa. You did not notice?
Yeah, I knew she was, but I see people like dropping links to her and stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Man, shake his phone. Wow. I'm taking that clip too. Taking that.
Don't
You can put
screenshot
that. You can put that next to the barbershop clip. It's like a full circle thing. You know what I'm saying?
For real
The
though.
look on your face is amazing.
Yeah, man. Oh man, that's so cool. Let me put my phone down. I'm tripping. That's okay. Yeah, man. So it's getting traction, bro. This is probably another one of those. Not even probably. This is another one of the times where God told me to do something. I need to do it, and I do it, and then you see the results go way past what you can imagine. The video clip on Instagram Reels is like, I think at 9,000 at this point. On Twitter, it's like 5,000. On Facebook, it's probably like 2K. I don't know, 1.5, something like that. But numbers aside, the vintage series, by the time this comes out, they're probably going to see more of these, by the way.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, it's an idea where I keep looking at my, I got like my blueprint right here. But the vintage series is, it's basically me taking songs that I've been inspired by for years, probably since my childhood, to keep it above, and doing music that people may not know that I love. Now I know Sam Cooke is a popular person, and I know that quite a few of these songs you're going to be familiar with, but my goal is to bridge the gap between what has always inspired me and what my supporters have heard from me and what my supporters see me as. You know what I mean? That's what the gap is. And with the vintage series, you know, this song, what you send me, I think came out in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like it's something about that era, man. I've always been in love with the 50s, like super early, high reverb. The whole band is in the same room. The drums is getting mic'd only by one mic type music. You know what I'm saying? Like three singers on one microphone around each other, and they don't have digital panning. You have to pan around the mic, like all that type of stuff. Like that era for some reason has always sat with me. Like from Sam Cooke and the gospel versions of that, like from the 40s and the 30s. Like I don't know what it is about. Sam Cooke is definitely like the topic of discussion now because he's the first song I led with the series. But there's something about those eras that have always done something for my spirit. And I want to illustrate how those songs have made me feel and give them to other people now. So that's the vintage series. Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. Now, beyond doing that vintage series, what can we expect now from you in terms of an album and work in the future? Are we working on anything, or are we still settling in and getting the Lion King and all this other kind of stuff going?
Good question, but nah, I'm not doing any more settling, man. We going for it. Consistency is what you expect from me now. That's been one of my biggest challenges, because I literally record. Like I'm sitting in my own studio right now. This is my living room, but I got my own setup in here. I record, produce, mix. I don't really master, and I don't always mix myself, but I do everything. Like the Sam Cooke, I did that all by myself, 100%. Recorded it, all of that. Did the vocals, like everything you hear in that song was either me singing it or me playing it. So like because of that, I've learned that like I have to, like we were talking about earlier, with me, you know, me being around people and things like that, I have to learn to keep my cup filled instead of halfway or empty. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
consistency that's my one thing that I'm focusing on before anything else. And as far as like the musical component of it, man, it's funny, man. God just made this very clear to me. And while we were doing this interview, I feel like God is telling me to just say this now. So I'm gonna just say it now. Here's the exclusive. I'm gonna consistently do these series, the vintage series, but also I'm working on a project that is centered around what has really been happening in my real life. Okay. And I've recorded some of the songs, like when, oh man, two people passed away last year that were really close to me, and it really sucked because they passed 3 days apart at the beginning of COVID. And that was in March of last year. But my girl Hope Thomas, she was one of my best friends. We had a lot in common, and we had a very close relationship. We talked on the phone probably 1 to 2 hours at a time, 2-3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? We talked all the time. And she was like, even to this day, it kind of hurts my feelings even thinking about it, because she was one of those people that was like always supportive, always there, always pulling up. And when she wasn't there, she was either doing some like tough love type situation, some so on and so forth. You know, she just had her ways of doing stuff.
Yeah.
But she was like, I specifically remember a conversation we had before I moved, and man, this is blowing my mind. Whew. Having a conversation with her before we moved, she was really sad that she couldn't come to my going away concert because she was in the hospital. And um, I don't want to give it all up because it's in the music, but I'll just say her and I have a commonality. We have a lot of things in common in regards to our struggles. They're very similar, and because of that, she's one of the few people in life in the world that I could have conversations with and just relate to. And for her to pass away, really, really hit me kind of hard. And last year, the day after she passed away, I ended up writing a song. Really, I didn't even have to write it. It was just like I cut the microphone on. I had a beat from Tony Dark, and I just sang everything that I felt. Didn't even think about it, just sang. And then 3 days later, I'm already hurt, already crying. My grandfather passed away. Man, my papa passed, and oh man, it's just blowing my mind, bro. It's like, man, it's like I pray. It's like our you talk about the vision and you talk about manifesting. You know, after 2017, I prayed to God that, like, man, can I start doing it for real now? Like, I know I've done things and been successful. Like, can I do it now? And can I do it for real? He was like, you're ready. And as far as the music, I had written down, part of this trajectory. I'm kind of jumbling right now because I'm kind of, it's just like,
No. You're good. You're good.
oh man, it's like I prayed to God that I could start telling my truth and telling my real story in my music, like I've always done, but on a very personal level. Like if you go back to listen to Maybe, those are all events that happened to me. If you go listen to Shower, things that happened to me. Go listen to Plantains, so on and so forth. You can hear the songs, hear the stories, and you hear what I was doing. But these stories, like I want to write the real. And once I prayed about it, I started finding that I started experiencing so much loss, and so many things started to leave. Like whether it was like friends that I thought were my best friends, they gone. Um, like, and I'm not talking about death with these friends. There's some friends that like you just grow apart from, you know what I mean? And then it's different. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Family members and other people like Hope and my papa who passed, them passing away, and like, why would this happen right when the pandemic is starting, and I just moved here. I don't have that much money. All of my savings is going away. I don't have a job. I feel like I'm about to get evicted. Like all these wild thoughts. And then sitting in the house for 7 months by yourself. Mm-hmm. Can't go nowhere. You can't go. What money you made?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like really going through the real stuff. And it was right. And it's like, I notice every time I pray to God, like, God, can you just put the real things and put that thing in me that makes me do exactly what you want me to do? Something would happen that would ignite more genuine truth to come out of my pen. And I'm like, man, Lord, man, you got to give me a break, but I'm not even laughing about it. But I noticed that was part of the whole projection and the trajectory and like just the next phase. So as far as the music, and in short, I am working on a project. I've been working on a project for over 10 years, but this one, I feel like the music, the stories per se, the stories have been so personal that I believe the way that I'm going to release them is I'm going to just allow God to tell me when and how to do it. And I feel like it's coming soon, to keep it real. I do. I want, it's like, I really want to give y'all a date, but it's like when God says no, go, that's when I do. And I've been recording, I've been practicing, I've been producing, I've been trying everything, mixing things, been calling my boy Alan Garcia from Houston. He's been like, if you heard the Kiss Me track, he's the one who played the guitar, played the piano, and also like with other songs that I've done, he mixed that song. Like he's like a go-to person for me. If ever I'm just wanting to make music remotely and stuff, we link like that. He's a good person. So, but yeah, I'm working on that. The Venture series is what I'm
the vintage series is what I'm focusing on right now, and I'm simultaneously working on the project as well. So
Nah, man, that's fantastic, man. And I'm sorry a lot of that stuff happened to you, but things appear to be moving in a direction. Like things are happening. You know what I'm saying? Like things are happening. What we're hoping that things continue to happen in a positive direction. And whatever happens, you're taking in a lot of influences and you're directing them out in a positive nature, and that's always good. Like that's just always good, and like we're big fans. We like seeing it, and we just appreciate like you taking the time out to sit and talk with us.
Yeah.
Always, man. Always. For sure, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
So where can they find you at, Lee-Lonn?
For right now, you can find me on Instagram at Lee-Lonn, Leellonn. That's 2 E's and 2 N's. You also can find me on Twitter. I'm actually in the process of rebranding. I decided to create my own website again, and also create like, I don't know if I'm going to decide between like a Patreon or something else along those lines. But man, Clubhouse just understands me, bro. Like, dude,
Audio.
yeah, it's just audio, bro. It
Yeah.
makes all the sense, bro. And like, being classified as one of the innovators of Clubhouse and being able to be a part of one of the most successful things that's happened at Clubhouse so far, and inspiring all these other people to do like, things like Lion King and things like that is it's humbling, man. And for now, I want y'all to hit me up on Clubhouse too. Leellonn, the same name that you
I follow you.
Yeah, bet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let the people
Follow back.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Matter of fact, let me do it right now because I ain't like,
all
just
But yeah.
You feel me?
That's awesome though.
Yeah, so they can find me there. But yeah, I'm rebuilding the website. I'm actually doing it now. So maybe by the time this comes out, it'll be live. And that could be my goal. By the time this comes out,
that'll be your goal. Like I said, we'll talk and we'll figure out the best time to release, and we'll get everything together, man. Like I said, these are remote recorded episodes, so we appreciate like any Houston artist
haven't come yet. You know what I'm saying?
Taking the time out. You say what?
So the aliens haven't come yet. By the time this comes out, the aliens could be here.
They're supposed to be moving in a better direction. You know what I'm saying? Things are supposed to get better. Like let's hope.
Yeah.
Oh, let's hope.
Hey, were y'all in that Elon Musk room or what?
It was Clubhouse.
I did not go in the Elon Musk room. I was watching. I couldn't be in it because I was doing something, but I was reading the Twitter feed as they were saying it, and I thought the most interesting thing, and it might not be interesting to people, was when he said that he didn't want to speak too much on the market because when he says things happen in the market, and I'm like. So that's why, like, imagine you just saying, like, oh, like, I don't know, I don't really use Microsoft Word too much, and it just plunging, like, you know what I mean? Like, are you being like, yeah, man, like, I get up in the morning and I eat a Pop-Tart, and then Pop-Tart just going through, like, you're like, yo, so it's wild, the amount of influence that he gets. So yeah. Elon Musk, Clubhouse. You can my brother be on Clubhouse heavy too. So he be swaying things. Things be happening.
Yeah, I just
we gonna get him Elon. We gonna get him Elon Musk levels. You know what I'm saying? That way he could be out here like, yo, Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
I like wrestling, and then wrestling.
Yeah. Where you say something about some wrestling, some Raw. Like, I saw Bad Bunny on wrestling the other day, and I was like, I know that guy, and I know this is wrestling. That's all I know, though. But
yeah,
there's a whole backstory. It is what it is.
Yeah, man. I just followed y'all on Clubhouse too.
Appreciate it, man.
Mm-hmm. But man, hey, I don't know if y'all about to end the interview or not. It's all good. I'm gonna say this though. I
I definitely want to like shout y'all out, bro, because I've done plenty of interviews, and this interview felt the most personal. It felt like you guys were actually invested in who I am as a man and also the musician. Like even the way you formulated the questions and the way you guys like the intro alone. It wasn't just like and this is no disrespect to the other people, but it wasn't like the usual let's introduce an artist and make them seem larger than life and do the industry stuff. It was like you actually went and did like, bro, the fact that you brought up the Time magazine thing with Charlamagne the God, and then you was like, we don't see I was like, oh man, that's dope. It looks like you guys are actually paying attention, bro. And I'm gonna say this now, like I really want to see where we are 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? I really hope you guys have nothing but success. Y'all have like I mean like a domino effect of just like growing up, and everything just continues to build more and more and more. And y'all are super prolific and all of that, and everything that you do here is fruitful for you, and it can change y'all's lives. I hope that really happens for you.
And look, we hope the best for all of our guests. Like I said, we get guests through word of mouth from previous guests.
Yeah.
So many guests had told us about you. Like they were literally like, no, you got to get him on. Like we'll like get him on the show. And the thing about it is our show literally only works because Houston artists support it. Like they'll literally be like, oh, here's such and such's number. And that's it. And Houston has a lot of talent, and I don't think we could do this anywhere else. Like I've been telling people, like people have given us numbers from very early on before we launched the first episode. We were just talking about what we were going to do. And people really supported. And we could have done this in Atlanta or New York, or Miami or Los Angeles. Like I can't go up and be like, hey man, like give me such and such a number. They'd be like, man, get out of my face. Yeah. But they'd be like, all right, y'all cool. Like I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna see what he says. I'm gonna get back. And so it's been really good. And like just like you want us to grow, we only grow when y'all grow.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. As y'all grow, we grow.
My brother always says high tides raise all ships, and I appreciate that, because if we all pull each other up, then we could do something, and that's great. But one thing, like even with this, the guy you say you call Chamilionaire, and he gets stuff done for you.
Yeah.
Man, Doe Beasley's my guy. I just text him. Can you do this for me? 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yo. I'll be like, man.
And and that's the thing. Doe doesn't have to at all. Like his first interview, like I felt like he was doing family stuff and came down to the studio when we were in the studio. Yeah, he came down like mid-dinner. Like he had food with him and was like, I'm sorry, I haven't eaten. I had to feed my kid. I had to take care of my wife, but I'm here. And I was like, Doug, I'll tell you, you nicer than me. I'd have ate. Like I'd been like, all right, I'm gonna catch y'all. I got y'all. But he came down, gave us some of his food too, and I'm like, dang. So yeah. The artists out here really support, and we really, really, really appreciate it. So we really appreciate you coming on.
Already, man. Already, man. Yeah, the feeling is mutual, bro. For real, for real.
All right.
Once again, Lee-Lonn, we want to thank you for coming out. It was awesome to really talk to you. We found out a lot about where you came from and where you're going. And just want to tell you from man to man, keep your head up, keep the faith, because I'm learning a lot from you and I'm being inspired by you. So a lot of people are being inspired by what you're doing, my guy. So I will see you definitely on Clubhouse, but you can catch Lee-Lonn, like he says, he's on your DSPs. He's on Clubhouse. This man right here is going to be doing even more. So let's just let's just look out for what's going on. And this has been another episode of In My Humble Opinion. I am Avery Zadius, also known as Avery Like a Very Nice Guy. This is my brother, Just Devon. Boom.
Yeah, that's me.
In My Humble Opinion podcast. Humbly yours. Thank you. And good night. Bang.